No, I mean like the back.
So,
Guys, quiet.
I'll let them-
Gather, please.
Yeah, so I'm Jerry Francis from Lighthouse Personnel, here to talk to you all today about CV writing and interview tips. The sheet in front of you all is, you can make notes throughout. There's a couple of little things I'm going to ask you to do, nice and light-hearted as we go through it, to help you start thinking about what to put on a CV. So, why me? What's my sort of credibility to talk about these sorts of things? So, when I was 12 years old, I used to sell ice creams from a little bicycle along the seafront. I've then had jobs throughout education. I've never been unemployed, well not unemployed, never not had a job even throughout education. Went to college, left college, didn't stick to me, worked in a call centre for a short while. Then I went to work for a training provider where I managed 5 areas of the UK. And I used to go in schools, colleges, talk about apprenticeships and CV writing, interview techniques, or employability stuff. Then I launched 2 branches for a healthcare agency, and then recently, 2 years ago, just on Sunday, myself and my wife set up our own recruitment business called Lighthouse Personnel. So that's our business, which has been going for 2 years. We're very passionate about helping people find the right role long term, and Lighthouse Personnel for us is about guiding people in the right direction on their career journey. And also I grew up next to a lighthouse in sunny old Harwich. So that's who we are. We do lots of videos and blogs, vlogs on how to write a CV, interview tips, really useful stuff for people like yourselves who are going to be going out and looking for your ideal job, but to help you secure it in an honest way without having to fabricate experience, which a lot of people can do on a CV and isn't advised. So what will we be talking about? It's 3 main sections: CV writing, so layout of a CV, design of a CV, content of a CV, interview tips, how to prepare well for one, the interview itself, and then some questions to ask the interviewer at the end of the interview, and then a little bit about something called LinkedIn, which you may or may not have heard of, about a LinkedIn profile, activity you can do on LinkedIn, and useful research you can do on there as well when looking for a new opportunity. So, CV writing. First of all, just a quick show of hands. Who's actually got a CV here? Yeah? Not everyone. Most people? Who completely wrote it on their own? No right or wrong answer with this, by the way. Okay, so probably about 20%. I didn't actually write my CV on my own as well. In fact, I've only recently just done it myself. And who had help writing their CV? It's the majority of, well, people from the other question. One thing which is really important with your CV is whoever writes it, or even whoever inputs in writing it, you need to know it inside out. Because if you're sat in an interview, an interviewer is going to have it in front of them, and they're going to ask you questions about your CV, and if you don't know the answers, they'll think that someone else has written it, which is obviously indeed the case. You need to know it inside out. So first things first, know your CV. So some statistics about CVs. 76% of CVs, resumes is an American word, are discarded for an unprofessional email address. So be careful with things like email address. You'd be so surprised if you have an unprofessional one, it can actually be discarded just on that basis. On average, each corporate job, so in most businesses, will attract 250 CVs. Of those candidates, 4 to 6 will get called for an interview, and only 1 will get the job. So your CV has to stand out, and that's what we're going to be talking about. 75% of employers caught a lie on a CV. So 75% of CVs have had lies on them, which is an incredible amount. And the problem is with that is if you're to lie on a CV and you're successful in the job offer, and further on down the road, you've been caught out on it and you've made a mistake in your job, which your CV said you could do, it can be catastrophic in your job. So it's really important to be as honest as you can and sell yourself in the best way, which again we're going to be talking about shortly. Recruiters and hiring managers can spend an average of just 6.25 seconds looking at a CV. So you apply for a job, you've got 6 to 7 seconds to impress a hiring manager for them to read it more extensively and take it seriously. 59% of recruiters will reject a candidate because of poor grammar or a spelling error on a CV. So really, really important that you use your spell check, that you get someone to look over it, that you read through it, make sure it's crisp. And over 40% of recruiters are put off by too much design. All the sources for those facts are up there as well. So the layout of a CV. First things we think are really important. If you want to make any notes on this, it's absolutely fine. This can be emailed out if you need to at the end or anything. So keep a CV to 1 or 2 pages. I think Elon Musk, I think Mark Bezos, I think the head of Yahoo as well, have got a 1-page CV, and these are people who have got years of experience and all sorts of interesting stuff to put on a CV, and they've got it on 1 page. 2 pages, fine. My CV's on 2 pages, but for any more than that, it can be off-putting to an employer. And you've got to really think of how to use the white space on your page so that it doesn't look too blank. We're going to talk about all that. But 1 to 2 pages is the prime amount. Ideally 1, 2's good as well. 3 or 4 is too much, really. Split your CV into sections. So you'll have a personal profile, which will talk about you. A bit about your personality is really important. We're going to go over that again in a moment. Education history, work history, achievements, hobbies, and then finally references. You can provide those. And then a layout that ensures good readability of CV as well as being eye-catchy. So it shouldn't just be black and white, there should be nice headings so that if you're to look at the CV, you are wanting to read more, because in that 6 to 7 seconds you have to look at a CV, your CV needs to stand out in front of others. So the design of the CV itself. Now, these are just some examples. If you go onto Microsoft Word and you type in resume or CV, it will pull up probably 50-odd templates that you can use, all like this. So these are just some examples, all right? And there's different things I like about these ones, and there's things I don't like about them. For example, there's a lot of white space here on this one, so it looks quite bare. But again, it's quite appealing. When you look at it, it's there's a little bit of colour on there, it draws you to it. It has got a picture, some people like that, some people don't, preferably I don't. This one I think is nice and professional, I think nice and clear. This one has a little bit of design, so if you're looking at like a marketing job or something like that, having a little bit of design on there is not too bad. But these will stand out from just a basic black and white Word document. So it's important to look at different designs and pick one that suits your personality a little bit. If you're going for something really professional, great. If you're very creative, got lots of ideas, show that in the layout. You know, you want this CV to give off not just what you've done, but also who you are a little bit as well, make you stand out. So the actual content, what to write in those things. So first of all, keep it clear and concise. Leave a hiring manager wanting more. You don't want to waffle on too much like I'm doing now. Bullet points are an option, but do take up valuable space. There's other types of separators you can use to spread out your key skills. What I would say with that, so with the personal profile, that's your bit to talk about your personality. Who you are, what you're looking to do, what you've done, why you're applying, those sorts of things. A little bit about perhaps some character traits. You know, I'm quite talkative, or I'm energetic, or I'm determined, or I'm driven. Those sorts of things are great because that's where your personal profile is to talk about you as a person. Throughout your CV, whether it be education, in the profile, in your work history, you want to use keywords. So when you go on Google, you'll search, let's say you're trying to buy a new phone, you might search Android, you might search phone, apps, music, sort of the things you want on a phone. It's going to pull up the suitable options for you. When a recruiter or a hiring manager looks for CVs online on different job boards that you've logged into and applied for jobs, they will search using keywords of what they want. So when you're writing your CV, you want to put yourself in their mindset. What keywords are they going to be searching for your ideal job? So if it's marketing, you want content in there, social media in there, leaflets maybe, design. If you haven't got those keywords, they might never find you, and you might be the perfect person for the job. And also, if you haven't got experience, to say that you're looking for a job like that, or in some of your personal things that you've done some of those things, those keywords are going to pull your CV to the top of that pile instantly. So really important. We're going to come back to keywords again in just a moment. First impressions are everything, so make it personal to you. Keep it professional, yet clearly demonstrating your personality. All right? So, quick little exercise on the note sheets. So what I want you all to do is think of what your ideal job is. So we'll just have a couple of minutes doing this. So what is the ideal job that you'd want to be doing after college? What's the ideal role? It can just be marketing, it could be graphic design, it could be hair and beauty, whatever it is. And I want you to write down 5 key words. And I'm just going to ask a couple of you to tell me what they are, a couple of them. 5 key words. In fact, we'll go around and we'll ask everyone just for one of those 5 key words that are relevant to that job. Okay? So go for it for now, for a couple of minutes. Just your ideal job, 5 keywords. If you want, just for a bit of fun to get you in the mindset, you can't think of your ideal job, you want just a footballer or graphic designer or something, just to get you in the mindset of doing that. 5 keywords. What's your idea? Car salesman.
In Jaguar.
Is it? So, keywords for a car salesman. What's a car salesman? What's someone going to be looking for in a car salesman? If you haven't got sales in your CV, never going to be driven maybe? Yeah, or driving. Driven, yeah. Let's think about those things. What other things they can do? Customers? Yeah. What keywords? Yep. Finance, as well, statistics, spreadsheets. There's loads of finance manager. There's loads of classes. But you're thinking, right, I want a finance manager. I want someone who's analytical, yeah. I want someone